I'm trying to actually stream for the first time at night. Okay, not for the first time, but I just saw news of a new replacement um, for the main event of UFC 311. And I was like, you know what? I was supposed to actually go live and do like an upsets predictions. I never actually got an opportunity to actually do that. Um, and yeah, I just thought maybe I should just do that right now. So let me actually wait for a couple of people to come on. I know it's a bit late for some of my people. Umar or Merab, definitely Umar. I've actually done my full card predictions for the entire card. You can always watch it on the live section of the channel. There are other sections of the channel basically where you can actually watch um, the whole basically the predictions of the channel or of the entire card. So specifically here, I think I'm going to go with first of all maybe giving you my reaction as far as the change of the main event, and then we'll basically get into the upsets predictions, which will probably take a little bit longer because um, I'm going to be doing them a little bit differently today. Um, I came here to get the live predictions. Bombo Clad, welcome to the stream, my guy. Yeah, we we're going to actually get there. I'm just going to give you a brief reaction. That's all. It's not like I'm going to actually be fully reacting. Okay, you know what? Let me actually just get into it, and I'll give my reaction once I do what do you call it? Once I get to the main event, basically, I'll give you my opinion at that point. So yeah, let's get to the upsets predictions. Tagiro Lambekov versus Clayton Carpenter. Tagir is the favorite at minus 325, and Clayton Carpenter is the underdog at 260. Do I think an upset is possible? Um, Let me see. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I feel like to be if if Tagir Ulanbekov was not necessarily training with Habib Nurmagomedov, I honestly would not have picked him, right? Especially considering that I've heard that Tagir Ulanbekov is not necessarily the best student, based on some of the things that Islam has been saying and even Habib himself. So to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. One of the deciding factors as far as who I'm going to pick, Clayton Carpenter is not winning. No, I need you guys to understand me. I'm not saying Clayton Carpenter is going to actually win. I'm just saying um, the main reason I'm not picking Clayton Carpenter, the reason obviously my subscribers and I went with Clayton. I mean, we went with Tagir Ulanbekov, but the reason I went with Tagir Ulanbekov is mainly because he trains with Habib Nurmagomedov. In my analysis of the fight, I feel like the fight is very closely matched. If I'm being particularly honest, I feel like Clayton Carpenter is the better fighter, but I think Tagirolan Bekov will probably be a little bit more prepared, largely because who the coach is. Obviously, Habib Nurmagomedov is going to make sure that they work exceedingly hard. So mainly because of that, I'm going to go with Tagirolan Bekov, but it doesn't necessarily mean I feel like he's going to win because I honestly don't think Tagir. I mean, I feel like this fight is a coin flip in my own opinion. I'll get to the reaction for the main event. Once I get there, I just took the opportunity of the news to say, you know, I'm going to live stream the fights, so I just want to know how it feels because I'm tired. In South Africa, it's like 11:30 at night, so it's almost 12 o'clock. So I'm just getting my body used to this whole thing. Short McGee, welcome to the stream, my guy. Look, my kind of during weigh-ins. It's still messed up. So Moicano also has an injury. This is gonna be bad for him. Dino Merab. Okay, we'll get to the main event, but Merab is not gonna win. Anyway, official pick. Um, Tagiro Lanbekov. Not very confident. Not very confident because I feel like Clayton Carpenter is probably a bit better. But for me, it's a coin flip, so an upset is definitely possible. On to the next one, Ricky Turcios versus Bernardo Sopaj. Ricky Turcios is the underdog at plus 205, and Bernardo Sopaj is the favorite at minus 250. Do I think an upset is possible? Uh, let me see. This one is a little bit tricky because I think I've went through this particular breakdown. Wow, once upon an oil fest, I actually didn't think you would join the stream because your time zone is actually like mine. So I thought you're probably sleeping. Kenny Dice, me versus you prediction. You're welcome to try, man. Like in 2024, I got like a 70% prediction accuracy. So I welcome the competition. Bring it on. But how will I know your predictions? Just post them in my predictions video. I post predictions videos on Saturday every single week. So you can go to the shorts section or the standard video section and let's get it. Actually, a lot of my subscribers actually post their predictions, and a lot of them are accurate. Sometimes they get better predictions than I do, but overall, my predictions are really good. Islam finna destroy my kind. It's not gonna be good for him. it's, uh, it's not gonna be good, but I mean, I can't blame him for taking the opportunity. Because obviously it's a title shot. Probably there's a financial benefit to actually taking the fight. So honestly, I mean, I understand why he took the fight, but man, it's not gonna it's not gonna end well. Kennedy, you versus Diddy predictions. The thing is, there's once upon an oil fest calls himself Diddy, so I don't know if you're making a joke or if you're serious. Ricky gets taken down so much. Makhachev or Moicano, definitely Makhachev. I'll get there. I think I'll respond to you. I meant you versus myself in UFC fight. Like what's the compensation for that? Let me stop digressing. I'm going to respond to every single comment once I'm done with the abscess predictions and giving you my reaction basically because I'm going to take a very long time if I continue to just respond to every single comment. Just that my regular subscribers have just joined. Have just joined. What do you call it? Have just joined the stream, so obviously I had to acknowledge them. Um, anyway, I was on Ricky Turkios, right? Um, let me see. Obviously, the biggest concern for me is that Ricky Turkios is not very reliable. He gets taken down a lot. But I feel like people are underestimating this guy, and I even said it on my previous predictions. And I was like, you know what? There were a lot of underdogs on the previous card that actually went on to actually win. And these are the underdogs that we were busy saying, oh my God, these people are terrible. They're not gonna win, and all that type of crap. Right? I was one of them, by the way. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not being mean to anyone. I'm also talking. I'm including myself in all those people. Punahele Soriano was one of the people that were like, nah, this guy's not gonna win. I was one of the people who was like, Mackenzie Dern is distracted by the fame and the attention she's getting, so she's not gonna win. Like there are a couple of people that I was like, no, this person is definitely not gonna win, and I was wrong, right? But obviously Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Hibas, maybe there was a split. But as far as fighters like Punahele Soriano and the what do you call it? The guy who was fighting Magomed. There are a couple of people who basically predictors and the MMA um, community as a whole were agreeing on the fact that these people are not going to win, right? And then we were wrong about that. So I feel like Ricky Tokios is in the same position. I feel like I've seen glimpses of potential, to be honest. And I feel like people are significantly underestimating this guy. So for me personally, I feel like an upset is definitely possible here. I feel like people have too much faith in what's his name, Brendan's is it Brendan Bernardo Sopaj? Yes. So I feel like a lot of people have a lot of faith in Bernardo Sopaj. I mean, probably it's warranted, but so far for me, Sopaj will submit or knock out Ricky Turkios 100%. Um, I have a 70% prediction accuracy, but I never want to. The only time I've ever said a fight is 100% safe was Wang Kong, and look what happened. So MMA is MMA, and I'm open to actually being wrong about specific fights. I give you my honest opinion, and in this particular fight, I feel like people are underestimating Ricky Turkios. You don't have to listen to what I'm saying. Probably I'm wrong horribly. Obviously that's why my subscribers and I picked Bernardo Sopaj. My subscribers also picked Bernardo Sopaj. So obviously all that I'm saying right now is that just be careful. Whatever it is that you decide to do, just be careful. Because because I feel like an upset is definitely possible here. On to the next one. Probably my safest lock on the card. Rinya Nakamura versus Muin Gafurov. I mean, okay, let me tell you the odds. Rinya Nakamura is a -600 favorite, and Muin Gafurov is a +430 underdog. Do I think an upset is possible here? No, 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 no. I mean, if Rinya Nakamura loses here, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to predict fights because I feel like Rinya should not should actually dominate. I think this is probably the safest um lock for me personally. The safest pick on the card, in my opinion. I think it's Rinya Nakamura. He's most like I'm like 99% sure that Rinya Nakamura is actually going to win. Um, hopefully it doesn't disappoint me because it's like usually when I'm like my locks and my parlays have been really good, but like whenever I get too confident, they're like embarrass me. So yeah, I think Rinya Nakamura is significantly better everywhere, whether it's on the feed, on the ground, wherever the fight goes, man. I don't think what do you call him? I don't think the other guy Muin Gafurov, unfortunately, it's not gonna be a good night for him. I could see Rinya Nakamura actually getting a finish, however he wants to, whether he wants to knock him out or whether he wants to submit him. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think Rinya Nakamura is actually going to do whatever he wants when he gets there, when he gets in there. And it's odd when I actually picked him, he wasn't -600. Or maybe I'm mistaken, but -600. It's not crazy, but I wasn't really expecting that these odds. But I think they make a lot more sense than Peyton Talbot. But I mean, we'll get to him anyway. On to the next one: Carol Rosa versus Alien Perez. Carol Rosa is a -250 favorite, and Alien Perez is a +205 underdog. Do I think an upset is possible here? To be honest, yeah, man. Um, and I said this when I was doing my upsets predictions, right? I'm not upsets predictions. My final predictions, and I was like, to be honest, I feel like Carol Rosa is honestly the better fighter. Um, however, and I was being honest about my reason for picking Alien Perez. My reason for picking Alien Perez is simple. I created a system to predict fights that removes my emotion or biases. I don't trust my own opinion as far as who I think is going to win. I trust the system that I created. it was created by me, but I don't want to make like decisions because I know I'm biased sometimes. So that can actually influence who I actually end up going with, right? So the prediction strategy actually ended up picking. I'm going to respond to everyone in the comment section. I promise. I just want to make sure that I finish with the abscess predictions, and of course because I'm streaming inside, I can actually stream however long I want to, because I can hook up the charger and do this for a very long time. But obviously, I know a lot of you have to sleep like once upon an oil fest, so I'll try to not make it too long. So back to the predictions. I feel like Carol Rosa is the better fighter. She's more gritty. I think she's more talented. Um, I think Aileen Perez might be good, right? She might be good. She is actually good, but the problem is I don't feel like the level of competition that she's been facing is um, good enough for me to actually feel any type of security in picking her or confidence. To be honest, so to for me personally, this is a coin flip. I'd say an upset is definitely possible here because obviously my subscribers and I are picking what do you call her? Aileen Perez, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm not very confident in that pick because I do feel like Carol Rosa is honestly the better fighter. Um, anyway, on to the next one. Zach Reese versus Azamat Bekoyev. I remember when I was doing my final predictions, I was like, Azamat Bekoyev is the favorite, and people were like, nah, dude, nah, he's not the favorite. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm being crazy. I didn't see it properly. And he is the favorite. I mean, Zach Reese is the underdog at the plus 160, and Azamat Bekoyev is the favorite at minus 190. I'm surprised. Like, I'm shocked. Okay, maybe let me not say shocked, but it's odd to me. Maybe it's because I haven't done enough research. The thing is, I've been trying to do predictions for the Saudi Arabia card, and I feel like it has actually affected my ability to actually effectively and research deeply into this particular fight. But it's odd to me that number one, Bekoyev is coming in on short notice. And on top of that, Zach Reese is not a scrub. So I'm curious as to um, why Bekoyev is the favorite in this particular instance. Because I mean, Zach Reese, even the loss, which was a fluke loss in my own opinion, I don't think that should actually really count. Let's see, his rank number 79 in the world. Let's see what kind, how finishing rate. I mean, 77% finishing rate is not too bad. He has six submissions. I mean, he has eight submissions and six knockouts. I don't know if they are TKOs or like ground and pound, for example. Um, he was fighting in LFA. Um, let's check the records of the people he's been fighting. His last opponent was 19-9. The previous opponent was 9-2, 5-1, 9-5, 0-0, 3-0, 14-4. Actually, he lost this one. Um, the previous one was 12-3, 5-1. He lost this one, 3-1, 0-0. I don't know, man. Why is he so sought after? Oh, he was fighting for the belt. Oh, this one is a little bit tricky. But I mean, it's LFA, man. Like it's kind of challenging to actually. I don't know why he's the favorite, but I think I'm going to go with the Zachary's based on based on the research that I did, I honestly maybe I will be proven wrong. Like I said when I was doing my upsets predictions, um, the last time a short notice fighter was the favorite, it was Magdalberg Robai, and he was coming in on short notice. Um, Reese TKO. I don't know, man. I think my biggest concern is that Bekoyev is the favorite, and even though people like to disregard the odds makers, they are normally correct about a couple of their predictions, right? Not all the time, not all of them, but you know, people don't just put their money just to lose it, right? So I'd say maybe a decision. It depends on also his cardio. And probably he's a dog, man. Like if he fights like Mateusz Rabeki, for example, it's gonna be a problem because I the problem is I don't know how he does in a dog fight, like in a slugfest, to use my channel's name. um, so I don't know how he does in deep waters. I think I've seen Zach Reese do decently well. So it's hard. I mean, a couple of people are saying a knockout in the comment section. So for me personally, it's difficult to actually make a determination on that particular situation because I don't know enough to actually say I think Zachary can actually finish him. Right, but I'm going to read the comments, or you can read them in the meantime. I think maybe they might give you a better understanding of why Azamat is such a massive favorite. Not a massive favorite, but for someone who's coming in on short notice, who's never actually fought in the UFC, to be the favorite against someone who's actually had experience in the UFC, who had a full camp, who was preparing to fight. Well, it's odd to me, but maybe they feel like the location might give him. But what location? What am I even talking about? Anyway, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm going with Zach Reese. My subscribers are going with Zach Reese. You guys can let me know why this guy is such a massive favorite. We can share information. Anyway, on to the next one. Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. Grant Dawson is the favorite at minus 250, and Diego Ferreira is the underdog at plus 200. Do I think an upset is possible? Actually, I didn't answer the question from. I mean, obviously, I'm picking Zachary, so I think an upset is definitely possible. Um, it's just that it's confusing to me. Obviously, I'm not going to pick someone because they are the favorite or anything like that. But anyway, Grant Dawson. Let me see what I got on him. Hmm. Okay, Grant Dawson on the feed is gonna be a little bit tricky. Um, hmm. I mean, Diego Ferreira has power. He has been looking decently well in his previous fights. Uh, and I mean, it's not like Grant Dawson goes out there and actually separates himself from his opponents. So it's kind of challenging to actually have any sort of confidence in him. So to be honest, I think an upset might be possible, but I'm not going to say it's highly likely. I mean, Diego Ferreira is like 40 years old. Like there's a 10-year gap. And they're fighting at lightweight. Let me just verify before. Yeah, it's lightweight. So it's kind of hard for me to actually. And like I was saying in my final predictions, right? Like if it was anyone else, I'd be like, okay, he's going to lose. But at 40 years old, combined with the fact that Grant Dawson is a grappler, and let's actually see And Diego Ferreira is not such like a prolific finisher. Like, of course, sure, he has a couple of finishes, but I mean, it's not that insane, to be honest. Let's actually check how many finishes he has. Um, he has like five knockouts or TKOs and seven submissions. So that's not like insane. And the total finishing rate is like 63%. So to me personally, I don't feel like that's someone who's very threatening, to be honest. Maybe if he was like a little bit younger, I'd be a little bit worried. I feel like Grant Dawson is probably going to find a way to actually tire him out with the wrestling and actually maybe get it win like a convincing decision. Or alternatively, I don't know. I feel like on the feed, Diego Ferreira might be dangerous early. Um, and the only person who's beaten Grant Dawson so far, let me just verify this and just not just some ducket. I like doing predictions like this because at least I'm able to actually refer to what I'm talking about. But as far as I think, in the UFC or is it in the UFC? I think in the UFC, the only person who's ever beaten Grant Dawson was Bobby Green, and I mean Bobby Green is a decent striker. So the only other time that Dawson ever lost, he was outside the UFC. Yeah. So the only loss in for Grant Dawson is Bobby Green, and he was a striker. I don't feel like Diego Ferreira is going to be as tricky on the feed to deal with. I think Grant Dawson is going to be able to find entries for his takedowns and find a way to control the fight. If Diego Ferreira is going to have the ability to actually defend himself, then I could see a decision. I don't think it's going to be a loss, to be honest, because on the feet, I don't think Grant Dawson will be that lost on the feet, to be honest, because of course Diego Ferreira has reach, he has power, but I don't know. I think it gives him a slight advantage as far as striking, but I don't feel like it's like a shutout as much as people think. I don't think Grant Dawson is going to be too lost on the feet. Obviously, I think it wouldn't be smart for him to even decide to strike with Diego Ferreira. So I think the best path to victory, obviously, is to get the takedown. But I don't think even if it takes a bit of time for him to get the fight to the ground, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue for him to actually survive somehow on the feet. So do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, obviously Diego Ferreira is good, but I'm not gonna say like it's highly possible. I'd say like so and so. Like it's possible, but not so much. Um, and I mean, Grant Dawson was in the top 10 at some point. I can't remember a time when Diego Ferreira was in the top 10. Maybe I'm new to MMA. I don't know, but I can't remember a time when Diego Ferreira was in the top 10. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Anyway, so an upset is possible, but I'm not gonna say highly. Um, it is risky. I do agree with that. Anyway, on to the next one. Bogdan Guskov versus Billy Elekan. Bogdan Guskov is the favorite at minus 360, and Billy Elekan is the underdog at plus 280. Do I think an upset is possible here? Another one. This is a tricky one to actually navigate because I don't know, man. I don't think light heavyweights are that good of athletes. I've been trashing them for a while. That's why. Um, I've been trashing them for a while, but Bogdan is coming in on a full camp. This guy is a regional fighter. He's ranked like I think number seven. Um, in the number five actually in the regional scene. Worldwide, he's like ranked 121. Let me see. The finishing rate is terrible as well. Like his finishing rate is like um 57, which is not great. Um, I mean, he has. Let me see. He has three knockouts and one submission, which is honestly sad. I don't know, man. My thing is I don't rate Bogdan. Um, I don't think Bogdan is that good, but in this particular instance, I mean, obviously he has the advantage of coming in on short notice. He is more likely to have the finishing ability. There are a couple of things that are going for him. UFC experience. There's so many things. So I feel like Bogdan is probably going to win this fight, and I think he's rightfully the favorite in this particular fight. And 360 um, makes sense. That's why I was a little bit confused with Zachary and Azamat. Um, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But when I was doing my analysis, I just didn't want to get overzealous. But in all honesty, I feel like Bogdan is probably, or rather, is supposed to actually win this pretty easily. But like I said, light heavyweight is just terrible. So you never know. On to the next one. Jolton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. Almeida is the favorite at minus 470, and Spivak is the underdog at plus 355. Do I think an upset is possible here? Nah, man. I don't think so. I think this is another situation where I feel like it's like Grant Dawson for me. This fight it feels like Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira, except that at least Diego Ferreira has knockout power, has reach advantage. Spivak does not have those advantages in this particular fight. Um, yeah, I think on the feed, Jelton Almeida is not going to be outstruck. I think it's going to be even. On the ground, I think we all know how it's going to play out. But I did say that Jelton Almeida struggles with heavier guys, right? Um, Derek Lewis, and I made this example when I was doing my final predictions. Jelton Almeida seemingly struggles with people who are heavy. I mean, if you can't submit the Derek Lewis, then there's a problem because Derek Lewis is horrible. Has horrible takedown defense. He does not have that grade of a submission defense. So if you're struggling to actually do anything to Derek Lewis, it's not a good look, right? And Gelatin Almeida actually struggled, right? So I'd see, I could imagine looking at a decision win for Gelatin Almeida, but it also I'm also worried about his IQ because it was fighting Chris Curtis, well no not Chris Curtis, Curtis Blades. When he was fighting Curtis Blades, he was busy making stupid decisions. To be honest, I feel like he lost that fight because of stupid decisions, not necessarily because he wasn't that good. He was holding on to a position that was getting him hurt, and he could feel it, but he allowed it to actually continue to happen. So I'm worried about his IQ. He might make dumb decisions that might give Spivak a an upset win. So I'm gonna say an upset is possible here because of Jilton Almeida's IQ. It's very low. He made a stupid decision against what do you call him, Curtis Blades. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that particular fight. But I'm going to say an upset is definitely possible here. No, not definitely. Let me say potentially. um, but yeah. Anyway, on to the next one. Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos. My subscribers and I actually don't think I've been telling you my picks. My subscribers and I picked Jelton Almeida, and I'm Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot is the favorite at minus. Damn, people love this guy. Minus 1,000. 150, and Raoni Barcelos is the underdog at plus 710. Do I think an upset is possible here? I don't think an upset is possible. Let me see. I mean, you know what? I don't know. I don't know, cause here's the thing, right? We've only ever seen Peyton Talbot against. I don't want to call Cameron Simon lower level competition, but so far I don't think I've seen Peyton Talbot against like exceptional talent, right? So in this particular instance, I feel like Raoni Barcelos might actually try to wrestle, and it might give Peyton Talbot a problem. I know he has good takedown defense. He's one of the few athletes, and I've been saying for a very long time that I feel like Peyton Talbot is probably going to be a champion at some point. But unfortunately, the champion at that point will be Umar Nurmagomedov. So maybe once Umar retires. um, but basically, but that's going to be an interesting match. I'm not going to outrightly say that Peyton cannot beat Umar. I'm excited for that match, right? But that could also mean I'm basing my because my opinion is based off of the fact that how he's looked against the people that he's fought. And sadly, the people that he's fought, in my opinion, are not that incredible. At the very least, based on who they fought so far, I don't feel like they are tested people, you know? So Peyton looks incredible right now, and I'm not going to even dispute that. But my biggest concern is what happens when he gets tested against someone who can actually give him problems, which I feel like Raoni Barcelos might be able to do, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. But if you were to ask me who I'm more confident in between Rinya Nakamura and Peyton Talbot, I'll tell you I'm more confident in Rinya Nakamura actually winning his fight than Peyton Talbot, right? I don't know, man. A part of me tells me I should just say an upset is possible here because, man, let me see. Let me just verify. You know what? If Peyton Talbot does not submit this guy in the it does not knock this guy out in the first round, I don't know. I don't know. So even at minus 150, I know it sounds crazy. I think I'm just going to say an upset is possible. But I mean, Raoni Barcelos is 37. Okay, okay. I think I don't. I'm struggling. I don't want to say this fight is safe because I think Raoni Barcelos, if he's able to take the fight to the ground, it's gonna be a problem. But at the same time, we haven't seen enough of Peyton Talbot. Probably, he's an incredible grappler, right? So, but the thing is, I haven't seen enough from Peyton to actually be confident. Because in this particular fight, based on what I've seen so far in the UFC, I feel like Raoni Barcelos is the better grappler. So if the fight goes to the ground, based on what I've seen so far, I think Raoni Barcelos will have the advantage. And if Peyton Talbot's takedown defense is not good enough, I'm not gonna go as far as saying Barcelos can actually finish him, but I think Barcelos can actually find a way to control him, and I don't know, somehow win a decision. Um, so yeah, I think I'm going to say an upset is possible here because of the grappling. I haven't seen enough from Peyton, and my opinion is based off of him fighting lower level competition. So I can't really say, well, he's elite, right? Because I haven't seen him against anyone else. Um, anyway, I think I'm going to say an upset is possible here. On to the next one. But my subscribers and I are picking Peyton Talbot. Kevin Holland versus Rene Derrida. Kevin Holland is the underdog at plus 105, and Derrida is the favorite at minus 125. Do I think an upset is possible here? Yeah, yeah, I think an upset is possible. Um, I think this was a good idea to actually stream this. Damn, this is hard. It's going to take getting used to actually, because even tomorrow I have to do this. Obviously it's going to be a watch along, but yeah, it's not gonna be nice. But I'll get used to it because I plan on doing this forever. Um, so yeah. Anyway, the problem with Kevin Holland is that he's very inconsistent. But there are times whereby he decides to show up, and there are times where he decides to not show up. So it's hard to know when he's going to show up, right? But Reina Derrida was able to submit Gerald Mearshart, which is not no easy feat, because Gerald is an actually talent. I don't want to say talented grappler, but he's a very good grappler, right? And he was able to submit him. Um, I honestly think he can submit Kevin Holland, but the thing is, you know what? I'm actually not. Okay, let me actually put it like this. I don't think wrestling is one of the most difficult things to actually learn and master based on what I've seen and what I've read and what I've basically everything that I've done as far as research goes. Wrestling is one of the most difficult things to learn, right? Kevin Holland has a black belt apparently. um, we should come up with a pick, bro. I have experience in mixed martial arts with high fight IQ prowess. If you need any second opinions, let me know and we can decide the picks of the week together, brother. I wouldn't even mind doing a stream, my guy. You know, I'm always open to that. We can actually do a stream. There's actually there's actually a possibility for me to actually do a stream with a champion in South Africa. But I think I'm going to do it as absurd predictions. But in any case, you can always I'm coming to Kevin Holland. Let me just respond to Pokemon. My email address is in the about section. You can email me, and then we can go back and forth and figure out how to do that. So Kevin Holland, right? Kevin Holland is an incredible striker, and if he can manage to avoid getting taken down, which is highly unlikely. I mean, if Roman Dolidze can take you down, I mean, like, that's not a good sign. And I don't think that fight didn't happen so long ago that I would say Kevin Holland had enough time to actually prepare and to, I don't know, to avoid getting taken down, because I don't think he's had enough time to actually avoid getting taken down. But the other problem is it's not like Reina Derrida has incredible takedowns or takedown entries. So that makes this whole thing a little bit more complicated because it's not like Reina Derrida is like an incredible takedown artist. So that also gives me a bit of concerns. But I'm comfortable in the idea that Kevin Holland fought a couple of months ago. He lost to Roman Dolidze, and it's not just losing to Roman Dolidze, unfortunately. He lost to Roman Dolidze and got injured and was taken down. And I feel like, obviously, I agree with a lot of people who say that Roman Dolidze was looked a bit tired, and he probably was going to get even more tired, right? if they allowed the fight, if the fight did not stop, or if Kevin Holland did not get injured, it would have been interesting to see how the fight plays out going forward beyond that. So I don't know, man. I just feel like Reina Derrida is going to be able to take down Kevin Holland, and he's going to be able to submit him. So, but I'll say an upset is definitely possible here. Um, anyway, on to the next one. Yuri Prohaska versus Jamal Hill. Um, Yuri Prohaska is the underdog at plus 110, and Jamal Hill is the favorite at minus 135. This is crazy. Who's still online, dude? Everyone left. I'm sure everyone is sleeping right now. Um, so I think I went to such um, detail as far as this particular fight because, but let me summarize for people who didn't see my final predictions. Right, when I was doing my final predictions, I was like, people are treating Yuri Prohaska like he has been losing multiple fights to everyone. And Yuri Prohaska has only ever lost in the UFC, as far as I know, to Alex. Um, hi. This stream YouTube just kicked me out. I mean, YouTube is high, so I don't know what's happening. Anyway, I I said I said Yuri Prohaska has only ever lost to to Alex Pereira. That's the first problem I had with people's criticism of Yuri Prohaska. And Jamal Hill has lost to Yuri, what do you call him? Alex Pereira and Paul Craig. That's not a good look, right? Yuri Prohaska has only ever lost to Alex Pereira. Jamal Hill lost to Paul Craig and Alex Pereira. That's already a more sad loss for Jamal Hill to have had. But that's number one. Number two, I feel like Jamal Hill is very untested. A lot of people have this idea that Jamal Hill is this top five um, fighter, like this top five incredible fighter. As far as I'm concerned, I feel like Jamal Hill still needs to prove that he belongs in the top five because he, at least Yuri Prohaska can say he beat a top five contender in order to get his title shot. Jamal Hill cannot say the same thing because he was ranked in the bottom 10 when he got his title shot against Glover Teixeira. And then he obviously relinquished the belt, and when he came back, he lost to Alex Pereira. So far, the only person that Jamal Hill has ever beaten in the top five is Glover Teixeira. So this idea that Jamal Hill is this insanely incredible striker is based off of the fact that he's been beating people like Johnny Walker. So like I mean, who hasn't knocked out Johnny Walker at this point? So we can't necessarily then say that makes Jamal Hill like this incredible fighter. He might be, but to me personally, I feel like he's still untested. At least Yuri Prohaska actually beat the top five contenders to earn his spot. Jamal Hill, when we remove the champion, and by the way, Glover Teixeira was like 40 something. So that's also an iffy win, in my opinion. And after he came from a war against Yuri Prohaska. So that wasn't like a normal Glover. It was a Glover that just came from like a 4.5 round, like somewhere there, war with Yuri Prohaska. So it was a different Glover Teixeira. But irrespective, I feel like Jamal Hill has not actually beaten anyone in the top five except Glover Teixeira. So he hasn't, to me, he hasn't proven himself to be like a top five contender. So I can't necessarily say that he is an incredible threat to Yuri Prohaska because, as far as I'm concerned, I feel like Yuri Prohaska is the more technical fighter. I feel like Yuri Prohaska did significantly well in the fight against Alex Pereira, as opposed to Jamal Hill. At least Yuri Prohaska was able to get to the second round. Jamal Hill could not even get to the second round. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, the confusion and whatever the case is. And I said this on my final prediction. Jamal Hill actually threw the first punch, so you can't then blame the distraction on that. And it looked like that was what was going to happen eventually because Alex Pereira was closing in. You could see that, and there's a reason why he didn't want the fight to be stopped because he saw an opening and he was seeing that, okay, I can finish this guy. Yeah, that's why he actually stopped the referee from actually interfering because he didn't want to lose the momentum. So, but it gave Jamal Hill an excuse. I felt like he was still going to lose, irrespective, right? And unfortunately, at some point, I felt like Jamal Hill was going to win, largely because I believed that Jamal Hill would maybe try to grapple. Stupid of me to actually believe that. But nonetheless, I think Yuri Prohaska did better against Alex Pereira than Jamal Hill. I think Yuri Prohaska has beaten a top five light heavyweight, which is something Jamal Hill has never done. So everything that people feel about Jamal Hill is based off of his performance against the bottom 10 of the light heavyweight division. And the light heavyweight division, the bottom 10 of the light heavyweight division is terrible. At least when Jiri was knocking out Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes was like a former title contender, and he had lost to Jan Blachowicz and John Jones as a split decision, if I'm not mistaken. So that's a better way to the belt than what Jamal Hill did. So to me personally, I don't feel like there's anything that convinces me to actually pick Jamal Hill. Like, why am I picking Jamal Hill? Like, there's nothing that compels me to pick Jamal Hill. As far as technical striking, I feel like Yuri Prohaska is going to be better. And even Yuri himself actually said that he's going to work on his defense. Hopefully, he actually works on his defense this time. And if truly Yuri has worked on his defense, Jamal Hill is not going to win this fight, unfortunately. And a lot of people are going to find out that the reason why Jamal Hill did not fight a top five contender is probably because he's not that good. It's easy to look good against lesser competition. And I don't mean to diminish anyone in the light heavyweight division. I just don't think they're that great. What do you call him? It wasn't Vitor Petrino ranked in the light heavyweight division. Anthony Smith is ranked. Like there's so many terrible fighters in the light heavyweight division that are actually ranked. That just goes to show you who's on a losing streak. There are a couple of people, even light heavyweight. I mean, even heavyweight division, like heavyweight division and light heavyweight division, to me, are the same. Like in the heavyweight division, Tai Tuivasa is on a losing streak similar to Tony Ferguson, and he's still ranked in the top 15. Like the light heavyweight and heavyweight are terrible divisions in my opinion. And Jamal Hill beating a couple of bottom 10 light heavyweights to me is not impressive, right? So that concludes my decision to actually pick Yuri Prohaska. It's not necessarily because I'm going with the hype of not liking Jamal Hill. I don't have a reason to pick Jamal Hill. Like if we remove the win against Lova Teixeira, what has he done? Like to be honest, what has who has Jamal Hill beaten? Let's just remove Glover Teixeira from his resume for a moment. Let's remove Glover Teixeira from Jamal Hill's resume, and you tell me who has Jamal Hill beaten? No one, no one, to be honest. So as a result, I can't pick Jamal Hill, even though you guys probably might think he's going to win, and he very well might. But I'm going to wait for him to prove me wrong. But so far, I'm not going to actually go with Jamal Hill. My subscribers also picked Yuri Prohaska, rightfully so. Anyway, on to the next one. Merab Devalishvili versus Umar Nomagomedov. Merab is the underdog at plus 225. Umar is the favorite at minus 280. Do I think an upset is possible here? Um, Let me see. Nah. I don't think an upset is possible here. I think Umar is definitely going to win this fight. I know there are people who want to believe that Umar is going to actually find a way to get it done, but I mean Marab is going to somehow find a way to get it done, but that's not gonna happen. Um, I think Umar is leaps and bounds better than Marab, because and I said this on my final predictions. I was like, Umar can just reverse Marab. Like if Umar decides to reverse or to take down Mirab, because that's something that I don't think a lot of people have tried. Because normally Mirab is the one who's pressing, but it's possible that Umar can get in there and actually take down Mirab, and I don't think it's going to be that difficult. And Umar has the submission threat, which Mirab does not have. So I could see Umar submitting him. I could see, yeah, a ground and pound TKO basically, because I don't know I don't know how long the fight is going to stay standing. Because obviously obviously Mirab is a grappler, and he's going to force the grappling because that's the only thing he's good at, and that's the only path to victory. He's not going to strike with Umar Nomagomedov because Umar was able to outstrike Corey Sanhagen. So obviously he knows, Mirab knows definitely that his only path to victory is to try and shoot as many takedowns as possible. But most likely, I see Umar actually taking down Mirab or reversing him or submitting him somehow. I don't think this fight is going to go the distance. I think Mirab, there's a reason why Mirab has not wanted to fight Umar up until this point. He knows that this is the person he's going to be fighting is the one person who's probably going to have the answers to him actually taken down, because it's not just about cardio. You don't have to play Marab's game if you have technique. So, and I feel like Umar has the technique to actually avoid playing Marab's game. Like you can offensively try to take down Marab and actually have some type of success. And I feel like that's what Umar is going to do. But even if the fight stays on the feet, maybe that's not even a question. Umar is definitely going to win. But even on the feet, I feel like Umar might actually try to submit Marab just to prove a point, right? Which is what I think is going to happen. So yeah, Umar is my second confident pick. I don't think he's going to lose this fight. Um, so yeah, I don't think an upset is possible here. On to the main event. Okay, let me do this first. Okay, sorry about that. Um, Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. Islam Makhachev is the favorite at minus 950, and Renato Moicano is the underdog at plus 600. Do I think an upset is possible here? um, yeah, man. I think an upset is definitely no. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Obviously, I feel like Renato Moicano is a worse version of a couple of fighters in the UFC. I don't know, man. I was worried about what do you call him? Alman Sarukian. I'm not that worried about Renato Moicano, unfortunately. He was losing against Jalen Turner. he did decently well against BSD, but I mean, at this point, do we even know how good BSD is? Because it seems like since he got into the top 15, he's been losing to everyone. So it's difficult to actually gauge how good of a win that was. But Renato Moicano is not going to win this fight, unfortunately. I don't think an upset is possible here. So yeah, honestly, that's my personal opinion. It's sad to see that Arman is out of this fight, but at the same time, I'm glad because people have this tendency of forgetting what someone achieved when they were achieving it, right? Because I know that the people will be saying after after Islam had beaten Arman Sarukian, they will be saying, yeah, I mean, he defended his belt against, or rather, he's fought a couple of people because he was fighting rematches. People are not going to count those rematches. They are going to count the people he's fought. Like, nah, he's fought 3 people or he's fought 4 people, forgetting that this person was actually rematching a lot of these fights. He rematched Alexander Volkanovski. He was about to rematch Aman Sarukian. He's probably if Charles Oliveira gets another win, he's probably going to rematch Charles Oliveira. So I'm glad that he's getting a new matchup for him to actually add to his collection. And I feel like Renato Moicano is a decent name to add, but I mean it's in the bottom 10. So obviously people are going to find their ways to actually discredit it. So yeah, I'm so tired. Today I have to sleep. In South Africa, it's like it's Saturday. It's 12:30 on Saturday. I want to sleep. I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to do a watch along for UFC 311. Um, I'm so exhausted. I can't believe I'm this exhausted. So this told me I need to sleep a lot. Anyway, I hope you got something valuable. So my most confident picks would be Rinya Nakamura, followed by Umar Nomagomedov, Islam Makhachev. Um, who else? Who else do I feel confident in? Yeah, I think those are the people who I would say. Yeah, I think those are the people who I would say I feel I'm pretty confident in. I'd say at number one is Rinya Nakamura. Um, then Umar Nomagomedov, Islam Makhachev. If you're feeling extra confident, you can add Peyton Talbot. Um, so yeah, see you tomorrow, guys, when I do the watch along. I'm glad I did the stream, but I'm so tired. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me. Please turn on your notifications, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Go through the channel. There's so much on the channel. The short section, the video section, the community section, the live section of the channel. Like, there's no part of the channel that's not active. So if you're new to the channel, you don't even have to subscribe. Just go through the channel, look what's on the channel on every section, from the video section, short section, community, and live, and then you can make your decision as to whether you want to subscribe or not. We're like a big family. And if you're already subscribed, please turn on your notifications so that you can be notified every time I go live, because I don't necessarily normally notify you guys when I go live. See you in a couple of hours when I actually do the watch along. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but it's for you guys. I'll get used to it. I'm so tired. I love and appreciate all of you. See you in a couple of hours. Until then, deuces. I'm going to post the new the shorts for Islam Makhachev versus Renato Moicano. When I post I don't know if I should release the predictions. Okay, I'll release the predictions for Saudi Arabia today. I still have to wake up and edit. Damn it. guys, let me go sleep. I have to still wake up and edit and do predictions for the upcoming card. And I love and appreciate all of you. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Deuces.